Well, that's not a good sign. This video is powered by Flying Eyes. Whether I'm riding on-road or off, they're my choice of sunglasses thanks to their thin and flexible stems, so I can ride for hours with no pressure points. Click that link down in the description below and use the code SC10 for 10% off your order. You know, it brings me no joy to make these videos because at the end of the day, I may be one of Harley-Davidson's most vocal critics, but I'm also one of their biggest fans. For those of you who don't remember, I actually got my start on a Harley-Davidson. I was one of the few people on the planet who bought Harley Street 750s. I bought one and then I bought a street rod when it came out because it was really, really cool. It represented some new leap forward for the brand, some more sporty entry into its usual cruiser lineup. And then as a fan of Harley, when I wanted to move up from that bike, I went to see if there was anything else for me, and there sure wasn't. Now recently Lance Oliver from Revzilla put out a piece on Common Tread, which I'll have linked down below, that's talking about the 2024 Q2 results from Harley-Davidson. And he draws a couple of conclusions that I think are accurate. One, he brings up the fact that the average Harley-Davidson customer has stayed the same age. He pulls up this graph from Harley-Davidson, insinuating that Harley-Davidson is really mad about hearing that their customer base is constantly aging out. And they're showing, no, our customer base has averaged between 45 and 44 years old for the last, decade. What that says is it says that people are actually aging into the brand and not aging out of it, which is kind of an interesting thing because most motorcycle manufacturers are trying to go for a younger audience. And honestly, this flies in the face of what I was told when I attended the Road Glide Street Glide ST launch a couple of years ago. The whole point, I was told, behind Road Glide ST, Street Glide ST, and the Low Rider ST was to bring in new, younger riders based on this California performance bagger scene, and also have it come out in conjunction with the King of the Baggers, which has been one of these massive pushes from Harley-Davidson. They have spent so much time, energy, and money on this racing series, and it's really showing when they bring out their racers to be in the promotional material for the new CVO Road Glides. And it's also putting the brand in front of a new type of rider because it was at MotoGP this last year. Those are sport riders that usually do not give one rat's ass about Harley-Davidson. So they're clearly trying to attract a new style of rider. Where Lance sees this as potentially a good sign, I see this as a massive failure on Harley-Davidson's part. If the whole point of the ST line of motorcycles was to bring in a younger generation of riders based on performance bagger culture and King of the Baggers, and their age demos have stayed the same, they have completely missed that goal. And then just bragging that it stayed the same is shifting the goalposts. The whole point is Jochen Zeitz's new Hardwire initiative, which literally got rid of one of the most exciting things that Harley-Davidson was doing. Back in the day, the old CEO, Matt Levatich, had the More Roads initiative. That's the thing that birthed the Pan America. It was the thing that brought out the Bronx, which so many people are still so excited for. And the whole point of that was Matt basically turning to shareholders and he was like, look, guys, we're not going to see immense year-over-year growth like we have been seeing for the past while we're working on this initiative, but this is a long-term strategy that is going to bring Harley-Davidson into a new era and bring in a whole new swath of new riders. Then I guess the board saw that and was like, nah, I'm good. Let's just do more stock buybacks. So Zeitz comes in, gets rid of More Roads, does Hardwire, which the whole focus of Hardwire is to sell fewer motorcycles at a higher price. And you know what? That's exactly what they've been doing because the average price of a Harley-Davidson is now $25,000. And there is no way for you to get into a Harley-Davidson for under 12,000 bucks brand new from a dealership. It's why there is no small displacement Rev Max motor. It's why we don't see the 975 Pan America. They're just not doing new stuff. They're bringing back old models. And if I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on here, I think that's why they got rid of the Fat Bob, because if you look back, they brought back the, what's it called, Breakout. They brought the Breakout back with its really long wheelbase, fat rear tire, and giant, I don't think it's 21-inch front end. It looks really goofy, it handles like ass, and the only thing it does is go straight. That has since replaced the Fat Bob as the Softail King, and I bet you in like 5 years, when everybody forgets about the Fat Bob, Harley Davidson's gonna be like, look, the Fat Bob's back, enjoy this thing. Now in his article, Lance does talk about how Livewire is continually missing its sales quotas. They wanted to sell like, I think 1,200 units, and they sold something like 273 bikes entirely in the first half of this year. I'll have the exact numbers on screen. And again, the Lance Oliver article is gonna be linked down below. That's not really surprising because it is not a part of the Hardwire initiative. They're trying to sell new models, and they're not putting any real effort behind it. And I've been talking to people at Livewire, and they're some of the most cool, most engaged riders out there. They're super excited about what they're doing, and honestly, the bikes they're making are pretty freaking sweet. One of the trends I've noticed with Livewire motorcycles is they have gotten more and more and more affordable. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Livewire come out with some S2 Aero motorcycle that is like 10 grand. And if they can do that, then we're talking about a very approachable electric bike. That, I think, should be the Livewire goal. But honestly, I know what you guys are saying in the comments. You're just like, electric, grr, communism, blah. Look, I get it. Electric motorcycles are not for everybody, but I actually think they're really cool and they're a lot of fun. And I highly recommend, if you have not even tried one, just go ride it. If it's not for you, totally fine. But they're really unique and they're really fun. Yeah, there are some issues with range and stuff, but that's gonna be solved. We've had 200 years of ICE development. Give batteries at least 50 before we write them off, right? Now here is where Lance Oliver and I are drawing completely different conclusions. I think that he's looking at Harley Davidson being like, the ship is not perhaps in the greatest shape, but it is generally sailing in the right direction. So who are we to judge what Harley corporate is doing? And then here's me being like, well, that's a bad sign, because I went to Harley Davidson's investor page, and guess what they're doing? In the next 2 years, they have greenlit over $1 billion of stock buybacks. And I actually looked at the history of stock buybacks. They're doing more and more and more and more every year. And I wonder, guys, if there might be another American company we can look to that has had a philosophy of less innovation, more expensive products, pushed out a little bit faster, while corporate greenlit billions of dollars of stock buybacks.
Oh, the humanity.
No, I can't think of one. From the outside looking in, their corporate strategy looks like they're following the exact same footprints that Boeing laid out for them, and that's not great. Now, I don't want to be the guy who's all doom and gloom and has nothing to offer here. What can Harley Davidson do to kind of right the ship and actually bring in a new rider? Sell one motorcycle, one, that is under $10,000. Put one 500cc Rev Max motorcycle out for sale in the Sportster line that can actually get new riders in. Just one. All you need to do, really, is take the top end off of the 975 and put a 500cc top end on there, because I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened between the 1250 and the 975. I mean, let's be real, that's what happened with the Sportsters. The 883 was just a choked up version of a 1200, or the 1200 was a bored out version of the 883. Give us one competitive motorcycle. Just one, please. And that's not to say that the current crop of Harley Davidsons are bad. They're not bad motorcycles. They are excellent vehicles. If you've ridden a modern Harley Davidson, you know exactly what I'm talking about. These things are smooth, they haul the mail, they go forever, you never have to adjust the valves. They might leak a little bit of oil, but they're getting better about that. Harley Davidson does make a luxury product, but a lot of luxury brands have a gateway vehicle. Give us that gateway vehicle. Also, if you're going to put a track mode on a CVO Road Glide, just give us one like properly sporty Sportster. I mean, like put 17, like make a new XR. Just make an XR 1250. That would be really cool, wouldn't it? And then you could actually run that on a racetrack and not look like a goofball. And here at the end of this video, I do want to say again, I don't hold any of this against the people that are in the trenches at Harley Davidson. I have a relationship with a lot of people who work with Harley Davidson. I've got people obviously in marketing because that's my access to the company, but I've also met some people who are in the design teams. I've met people who are there. I've met their racers and I've met the race team. There are so many amazingly passionate and brilliant people working at Harley Davidson, and honestly, I think that their creativity is being stifled just a little bit. All of my issues with current Harley Davidson trajectory comes from the C-suite, and I honestly think that it's not going to change until they get rid of Zeitz and they go in with somebody who actually wants to do something cool. But I guess until then, it's all going to be about bringing up the share price. So, you know, if you're out there looking for, you know, good stock to buy right now, you might as well pick up some Harley Davidson because they're going to artificially inflate the stock price for the next 2 years. I don't know. I want to see Harley Davidson be the company I know they can be. I want to see them make some really wild and cool stuff. But that's where I'm going to leave this one. Let me know your thoughts on Harley Davidson. Do you think that the ship is sinking? Are we watching a long, slow slip beneath the briny blue deep? Or are they just going to kind of continue on as the luxury brand and sell fewer and fewer units year over year? Because their actual unit sales, they went down another % this quarter. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.